Good morning. I mean, that as a backdrop to start a video, I think that's probably one of the best. So this is going to be my Pro-Am round review that was played here at St George's Hill yesterday. It's called the Nelson Trophy. So it's an invite-only Pro-Am, so a new experience for me. Loads of players, loads of teams, and a very different format than what I'm used to, shall we say. It's a Pro-Am in name and a completely different beast in nature, I have to say. It is just amazing here. On a side note, we're having a discussion. Favourite golf courses in England, and Hillside is one of my favourites by far, but this has got to be one of my favourite places. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. My golf yesterday wasn't that beautiful, but here is basically what I'm going to be doing, because I've come to pick my car up in the morning after having to leave it here last night again. I should explain a little bit about what went on. So I'm driving back up north. I'm going to be doing the review of this Pro-Am at pretty much every service station that I get to stock up on coffee. And we'll go through my round, we'll go through a few other things about maybe how my round unfolded, and certainly stuff that I need to be doing moving into the winter, because it's going to have to be some big shake-ups, I think. Okay, first services of the day, Beaconsfield. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. Coffee, I would give an 8 out of 10. It's actually quite nice. So let's start off with the score. Shot 76, which around that course yesterday, really no wind to speak of. There's a little bit on the my back nine, but really nothing at all. It was actually a pretty high score compared to the rest of the scores that were coming in as well. So I think 4 under 1. There's quite a few at 3, quite a few at 2. Generally low scoring. Although I will get onto the quality of play that was there in a moment. So 6 over, I think the worst score that was in was 7 over. So there's a few of us on 6, a few of us on 7. I was down near the bottom of the field anyway. So it was a shotgun start, and I started on the 3rd hole of the blue. So as you look at my card here, the first 7 holes, that's when I was 7 over par. Now that involved 4 bogeys and 1 massive treble. And after those 7 holes, started to settle down a little bit, and from then point was 1 under. And I was actually a little bit unlucky not to be more under over those last 13 holes. 13 holes? Greening regs wasn't great, fairways was actually okay. I hit the ball all right, all things being considered. But the one thing that let me down, oh my. This is a bit of a random spot. So this is Silverstone services, and I'll come behind and there's just this lovely walk along the riverside. Second cup of coffee, actually much better than those. So my putting was absolutely shocking. Is actually the nicest way to put it. It was absolutely awful and awful. There's one putt which was on the maybe my 15th. It was like 2 foot at the most, and it was almost a yip. Kind of want to keep my voice down. It was almost a yip. I yipped it. And that is because I had no confidence at all in my putting, which is weird. Over the last year, that's been a strength. But since I got rid of the toe-up putter, which I don't like, and put the Scotty in the bag, which I do like, I can't putt with it. So it's more of a mental thing. It obviously is. If you put that putter in the hands of a really good putter, then they're going to hole putts. But for whatever reason, I just can't get it in the hole, so I may have to switch that a little bit. But as you can see from the stats, apart from the putting, my game was actually in okay shape. But it was a different Pro-Am, a very, very, very different Pro-Am than I've ever played in before. Let's get on the road, and I'll tell you the next service is exactly why it was so different, but also who I was playing against as well. I'm broke a little bit. Milkshake. So first of all, the people I was playing with. Now, there were a couple of invites. So you had James Morrison, European Tour player, Gary Orr, who's a Seniors Tour player now. I think he still plays Seniors Tour. And in the field, there was 5 or 6 ex-European Tour pros as well. So the calibre of play that was there was obviously very high. Now, that doesn't make winning easier by any means, but it doesn't have any reflection on the score that I should have produced. So the score that I was producing wasn't good enough by any stretch of the imagination. However, that's just a flavour of the type of people who were there. Also, the other people I was playing with, I had a very quick look the evening before at the amount of competitions that they'd been playing in. And this is the big difference, and I think it's one of the key differences, that if I do want to qualify for the Open, it has to change somehow next year, but trying to change this is going to be one of the most difficult things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select some players who finish near the top of the leaderboard. So good players. But just look at the amount of competitions that have been played in by these players. They've played in more competitions in the last month than I've played all year. And some of the players who are at the top of the leaderboard have played more comps this year than I think I have ever played as a professional. Bear in mind, I have been a pro now since I was 18, so for over 10 years, worrying. So for over 10 years, there was a bit of a break in the middle when I did my journalism thing, and extended periods of time when I was just working in the shop, I wasn't playing any competitions, granted, but throughout my entire professional career, some of these players have played more competitions this year than I have throughout that entire time period since I've been a pro. So trying to compete against people who are constantly in competition is going to be so hard. So upping the number of competitions that I play is going to be absolutely key, absolutely crucial, because there's nothing like playing in competition pressure. Playing socially and playing well, playing on the vlogs, that's fine. That is one thing, and it's a form of practice. But competition practice is completely different. I've not had a milkshake in so long. And talking about things that I've been drinking, this is another big difference about the Nelson Trophy. Okay, I made it home. That was a long old drive, that one. I decided not to stop again at a service station because I was getting a little bit anxious to get home, if I'm being honest with you, so I powered on through. And now I've got to get this edited. Where was it up to? Yeah, about the other difference in the Nelson Trophy. So if you've played it before, you'll know what I'm on about, and I'm sure there's other golf days like this, but I've never played in a Pro-Am like this. So we started on the 12th hole, which I had a par on. Mike Harris, editor for Golf Monthly, had an incredible chip-in birdie as well. And I thought, God, this day's starting well, come on team. Because it was basically individual pro, but then 2 from 4 Pro-Am. And we got onto the 13th tee, and there was a champagne tent there. And it was made perfectly clear to me that the Nelson Trophy is about the golf. Of course it is. But it's also about raising money for a local hospice. And it's also basically about getting merry. So when we got to the 13th tee, there was champagne. Lovely, and fruit. And then when we got around to the 9th hole, which by that time was our 7th, and that I'd got to 7 over, there was a big beer tent, so had a beer. And then when we got to the 3rd hole on the blue again, you know, it's slightly confusing because it's 3 and 9 holes, there was another champagne tent. Then when we got round to a couple holes later on, there was a gin tent. Then a couple holes later on, there was a beer tent. It was quite intense, and all the pros were getting involved, which was again just so new in a Pro-Am format. But like I said, it's a very different Pro-Am. This isn't like a Pro-Am that you're playing every week. Probably the one concern is I got to 7 over, then had a couple of beers, and actually as the round progressed and we stopped at all these tents, my game improved. My putting didn't, but my overall approach play improved. So a very unique event, and at the end of the day, there was so much money raised for charity, which is great. Everyone had a fantastic time, and I definitely want to go back again. It's such a unique event at such a brilliant course, so it was very much enjoyable. From a playing standpoint, I don't think it's an event to take too seriously, but the way that I started and the way that I putted, that is something I have to take seriously. And looking at the amount of some of these guys play, I need to take that seriously as well. Like I said, the competitive nature of practice is so different, and all the stuff on the battle board, like the scramble test and all that, is designed to get that a little bit more out of me. But during the last few weeks, and probably into October and November, my ability to practice and the time that I have to practice is something I'm going to work really hard at, because I'm away so much going into the winter, because this is when the bulk, really, generally over the last few years, of filming work commences, which is tricky. It's going to take a lot of work, but anything worthwhile takes work, so I'm going to have to work a little bit harder. Also work. Then it's the British Masters next week, so playing the Pro on Wednesday. I'm with Martin Keimer, Seb from Seb on Golf, and Steve Buzzer. We are playing at 12. If you are wanting to come down to British Masters Pro and close out, please come say hello, please come watch. It should be awesome. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video and share it around as well. I'll see you next time. I'm also going to go onto PJ website and check out when the next comps are. Try and get in there. Right, guys. See you soon.